Hi everyone, today we are going to make peanut kale soup, and we are going to start out by adding our garlic, our onions, and the recipe says to also add our red peppers, but personally I like to cook down the onions and the garlic before I put in the peppers. I don't know why, I just love seared onions and garlic. And like all of the videos you've seen me make, this is whole food plant-based, which means we don't use any oil, even when we're caramelizing our onions. So I've got some soup stock, and this isn't quite ready, but I will show you how we caramelize onions. See, this is getting a little bit brown down here. We're going to let that go just a teeny bit more. And then we're going to take a little bit of soup stock. And you see how it hits that hot pan and browns it. And you can see it's like a brown liquid. And then we just mix that up. We've got some more browning over here. And we just hit it with water. Don't put too much water because you don't want to steam your onions and your garlic. You want to caramelize them just like you would with oil, just in a healthier way. Okay, our onions and our garlic are nice and browned up, and now I'm going to toss in our peppers. I turned off the heat because the steam was just crazy and the camera's sitting right above it. So let's go ahead and put this back on. And I don't think we need to cook these peppers down much because this whole thing's gonna boil for I think 15-20 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. So we'll get a little bit of sauteed in here for the peppers, but really I think if you've got the onions and the garlic nice and browned up, you don't need to spend too much time with the red peppers. Okay, we've got our onions, our garlic, and our red peppers nice and sauteed up. And this recipe is super easy. All we do now is throw in everything else. So I'm actually using the soup stock because if I don't use it, I've tried saving it, it goes bad, then it just gets thrown away. And then I've got this big beer mug full of water just to measure it out conveniently. Let's put the heat back on. And then we've got our chopped tomatoes, our potatoes, and then we need a bit of red pepper flakes. This is a 1/4 teaspoon. That looks good, whatever that is. And then of course, look at all this delicious peanut butter. Oh, that looks delicious. We won't be eating this all in one serving, fortunately. This makes a lot. I'm actually doubling the recipe that's in the book. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't quite have enough peanut butter. This should have been a full cup because it's half a cup for the original recipe. I think I had about 3/4 of a cup. So I just did the recipe plus 3/4. So there's a little bit extra garlic and stuff in there, but it's alright. Don't mind my finger. Get all this peanut butter off of here. Yum. And then of course, we've got all of our kale. This is way too much kale, but one head wasn't enough. Actually, let me get this peanut butter mixed up first. One head of kale wasn't going to be enough, so I bought 2, and then whatever I didn't put in here was just going to get thrown away. You know the story. You think you're going to use it later, you save it, you wrap it up, you put it in the fridge, and then it goes bad, and then you throw it away. So I'd rather just have a bit extra in here. It's definitely not going to hurt anything. Wow, that is a big pot of kale. I might have to add a little bit more water. Let me see. This will all stuff down there. I think it's gonna break down a little bit. Kale's pretty tough when you boil it. It's not like spinach that would just, wilt away. But still, I think it'll shrink up a little bit, and I think that'll be fine. And that is everything for this recipe. It's garnished with cilantro and chopped peanuts, which I have on the side. But first, it says to let this boil, bring it to a boil and let it simmer for 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to turn this up and I'm going to bring it to a boil, and I will be back in 10 minutes. Okay, this has been cooking for a little over 15 minutes. It says 8 to 10 minutes in the instructions in the China Study Cookbook, but the real way to tell if this is done is to get a potato and have a bite of that potato. As soon as the potato is relatively soft, then it's done. When I checked it after 10 minutes and even after 8 minutes, it was not even close to being done. So I let it go. It was probably about 15, but it is ready now and it looks delicious. And I'm going to just scoop some up. I really need to buy a ladle. How do I say that? Ladle. Say that 10 times. Anyway, I'm using this old cup. Oh, that looks delicious. Oh, it's hot. All right, I'm gonna put this over here. And then for the garnish, we have cilantro. I'm sure there are some people recoiling in disgust. If you don't like cilantro, just don't put it on there. I absolutely love cilantro. And then also, I just bought a little pack of peanuts and just chopped them up on the counter. And we're gonna put those on top of the cilantro. And here is our finished soup. Ooh, that's hot. I always burn myself. I'm gonna probably burn my mouth on this again. Let me just get a little bit of a bite. I just turned this off, so let's see. Wow, it's really peanut buttery. Oh, so good. And there's a ton of kale in there. Kale, garlic, onions, red peppers, tomatoes, and potatoes. It's all vegetables, it's all healthy, it's all great. There's no oil, although the peanut butter has oil in it, but there's no oil sauteed into it. So it's very healthy and it is super delicious. I really recommend that you make it. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks, bye-bye.